So, when we usually talk about the future, I feel like we're talking about something really far off, like the year 2100. It's all just concept art and sci-fi scripts.
Right, it's all vaporware, basically. Stuff that looks cool in a presentation,
Yeah.
but you can't actually touch it.
Exactly. But today is, well, it's a little different. I was looking through the notes you sent over, and honestly,
Mhm.
if I didn't know better, I'd think you were pitching a summer blockbuster movie.
I mean, it sounds like one.
We've got crane ships, we've got cars driving on the ceiling, woolly mammoths. But the weirdest part is that the source for all this, it isn't some academic paper. It's a MrBeast video.
I know, I know. It sounds completely absurd to say we're doing a deep dive on a YouTuber's stunt video.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is why I was so excited to unpack this.
Okay.
He actually put together this whole hierarchy of technology that exists right now. This isn't CGI.
Mhm.
He put real people in contact with real working hardware.
So that's our mission for this deep dive then, to look past the viral wow factor and figure out what it all actually means for us. Because it's easy to just watch that and move on.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
We need to strip away the YouTube spectacle. Because underneath the stunts, you're looking at a roadmap for how human capability is going to fundamentally change. And I mean in the next, 10 years.
It's a wild list. Human augmentation, the future of transport, de-extinction, which, by the way, is a terrifying word, and even a blueprint for living on Mars.
And I think the best place to start isn't with the rockets or the cars. It's with the human body itself.
Yeah, this is the stuff that felt the most, I don't know, intimate and immediate. We're talking about Neuralink.
Right. This was the $10,000 tier in the video.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw this case study of a man named Nolan. He's been paralyzed from the neck down for 8 years.
And just to set the scene for you, for 8 years, Nolan's ability to interact with the world was, almost zero. If you can't move your hands, the digital world is completely locked off.
It's just a window you can look through, but you can't touch anything.
Right, but in the footage, he's just sitting there, completely still, and on the screen in front of him, he's playing Mario Kart.
And he's good at it. He's not just, bumping into walls.
He's winning. But, okay, walk me through the how here. I get that there's a chip in his brain, but how does a thought become a sharp left turn in a video game?
So this is where it gets really fascinating. When you or I want to move our hand, our brain fires a specific electrical signal in the motor cortex.
Okay.
In Nolan's case, his spinal cord is damaged, so that signal just hits a dead end. It has nowhere to go.
But the signal is still there. The intention is still there.
Exactly. And the Neuralink chip is sitting right on that part of the brain. It hears that electrical signal, that intention to move.
So it intercepts the command?
Precisely. It translates that biological spark directly into a digital input. So Nolan thinks left, and the computer cursor moves left. He said something that really stuck with me.
What was that?
He said, anything anyone can do on a computer, I can now do. It's not about gaming. It's about agency.
He totally blurs the line between mind and machine. And speaking of agency, we have to talk about Kai, the 12-year-old boy.
The Bionic arm. This was the $25,000 tier. Now, you might be thinking, prosthetics have been around forever. What's new here?
That was my first thought. You see the old hooks or the claws. They're functional, but they look mechanical.
They're clunky. With older models, you have to physically flex a muscle in your shoulder or something to get the hand to close. It's a very manual process.
Right.
This arm is different. It uses sensors to detect the nerve signals deep inside his residual limb.
So it's kind of like the Neuralink, but for his arm, it's reading his intention.
In a way, yes. It reads the ghost signal. His brain sends the command to make a fist, and even though there's no hand, muscles in his arm still twitch in that specific pattern. The sensors pick that up.
And the reaction was just instant. He put it on, and there was no learning curve. He just reached out and grabbed a piece of wood.
That's the sign of mature technology, right? Intuition. A 12-year-old puts it on and can immediately shake someone's hand. The engineering just disappears.
He looked so happy. He said, "This is the best day of my life." It really brings it home that for people like Kai or Nolan, this isn't sci-fi, it's just freedom.
Absolutely. So we've covered moving parts of the human body. Now let's talk about moving the whole human body.
Your patient.
Yeah.
And this is where the notes went from heartwarming to kind of terrifying pretty quickly.
They're talking about the vacuum car.
The vacuum car, the flying car. Well, let's start with the flying one. That's the $150,000 question, right? Can it finally beat traffic?
Well, they actually tested it. A race to work. One person in a normal car dealing with stop signs and traffic, and the other in this flying car.
And it wasn't even a contest. The flying car just obliterated the regular one.
Which makes sense, physically. It just takes a straight path. As the crow flies, literally, it went right over the water, skipped all the gridlock.
Watching it, though, all I could think about was the noise and the safety. I mean, if everyone has one, isn't the sky just a complete mess?
And that's the real bottleneck. It's not the tech. The engineering works. It's the regulation. Air traffic control isn't designed for thousands of commuters zipping between buildings.
So it's an engineering problem that's solved, but a bureaucratic one that's just beginning.
Precisely. It'll probably be a niche thing for a long time, unlike, say, the jetpack.
Oh, the jetpack. $500,000. It goes 80 miles an hour, which sounds absolutely terrifying.
But it only have a 3-mile range. So, it's not exactly practical yet.
Okay, let's come back down to Earth then. Or maybe flip Earth upside down. We have to talk about the $1 million vacuum car. It looks like the Batmobile, and they drove it on a ceiling. Is this just a gimmick?
It sounds like a circus trick, I agree. But you have to think about the physics of racing. It's all about downforce.
Right, the spoilers on the back push the car into the track so you can take corners fast.
Exactly. But that only works when you're moving fast. This car, it uses giant fans to suck the air out from underneath it. It creates a vacuum.
So it's literally suction cupped to the road.
Yes, which means you have maximum grip even at 0 miles an hour. That's how it can drive upside down. The suction is stronger than gravity. But the real-world application isn't ceiling driving. It's safety.
How so?
Imagine an emergency brake on a normal car that uses this. You're about to crash, the fans kick on, suck the car to the road, and you stop instantly, even on ice.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Though the driver in the video, Jimmy, he did not look comfortable. He said all the blood was rushing to his head.
Yeah, human biology isn't a fan of being upside down. It's an engineering marvel, but a vestibular nightmare.
And from extreme engineering to bizarrely luxurious, the $10 million Mercedes concept car.
This was less about driving and more about, symbiosis.
It didn't have a steering wheel. You just put your hand on this central console. And the host said it felt like a creature. He petted the back, and it reacted with lights.
It's this vision of a future where the machine isn't just a tool. The seats read your heartbeat, your vitals, and they adjust the environment for you. It's a living space that takes care of you.
Wild. But let's shift from how we move to what fuels us, because we still need to eat.
Which brings us to sustainability and logistics.
First up, delivery. They showed off Wing, the drone delivery service.
And this isn't a concept. They've already made over 750,000 deliveries. The system works today.
The test was great. They delivered s'mores ingredients to the middle of the woods. The drone just hovers, lowers it down on a string, and flies away. Took minutes.
It's all about efficiency. No trucks on the road, no idling. For small, urgent things like medicine, this is the future.
But the real sci-fi moment for me in this whole section was the chicken.
Upside Foods. Cultivated meat.
Okay, let's break this down, because I think a lot of people hear lab-grown and they think of soy paste or something.
And that's the key misconception. This starts with a real animal cell. They took one from a chicken egg back in 2018, and they've been growing that same cell line ever since.
So it's like a sourdough starter, but for meat.
That's a great way to put it. They put these cells in a big steel tank, a cultivator, and they feed them nutrients. The cells just divide and multiply until you have actual muscle tissue.
And the result? It is chicken. Biologically 100% chicken.
Which is why, in the blind taste test they did, a high-end chef cooked both slaughter-based chicken and this cultivated chicken. And the testers couldn't tell the difference.
They said it was scary how similar it was.
Because there is no difference at the cellular level. But the implications are huge. We killed 220 million chickens every single day. This technology eliminates slaughter. It eliminates the risk of farm-borne diseases.
If they can scale that and get the cost down, that changes everything about our food supply. But if growing chicken in a tank isn't playing God enough...
Then how about bringing species back from the dead?
Colossal. The De-extinction company. This felt like Jurassic Park, but, with more fur. Their goal is to bring back the woolly mammoth.
And they're using DNA from a 43,000-year-old tusk they found in Alaska.
That number just breaks my brain a little bit. 43,000 years.
It's ancient. But the DNA is still viable. They're using lasers to pierce cells, clone the DNA. They've even made a woolly mouse hybrid as a proof of concept.
And the timeline they gave is what's really shocking. They said mammoths will be back within this decade.
This decade, that's basically tomorrow.
But why? Is it just for a cool zoo exhibit?
No, and that's the important part. They have something called a biovault, which stores the DNA of over 1,000 endangered species. This is an insurance policy.
Against us.
Against us, against climate change, you name it. If we can master the tech to bring back a mammoth, we can use it to save species that are on the brink of extinction right now.
Yep.
It changes extinction from a period into a comma.
And to show they were serious, they fed a meat cake to 2 resurrected dire wolves.
Seeing those things, it makes it all very, very real.
It really does.
So, okay, we fixed the human body, we fixed traffic, we fixed the food supply, and we've even fixed extinction. What's left?
Only the biggest challenge of all: ensuring the survival of the human race by becoming a multi-planetary species.
Space. And this final part of the deep dive was just on a colossal scale, starting with the $500 million biosphere.
Which is essentially a Mars simulator. If you're going to live on a dead planet, you need a closed-loop system. You have to make your own oxygen, water, and food.
And this biosphere is a mini Earth. It has 5 different biomes inside.
Yeah.
A rainforest, a savanna, a desert, a swamp, and an ocean.
The little details are what get me. Like in the swamp, the plants absorb so much salt that the leaves taste like potato chips.
Natural seasoning for your Mars dinner. I loved that.
But there was a more critical lesson they learned. In the early days, they grew these trees indoors, perfectly protected. But the trees kept falling over. Right, because there was no stress, no wind.
Exactly. Without wind pushing against them, the trees never developed strong root systems. So they had to install giant fans to create artificial wind just to make the tree strong enough to stand up.
That feels like a very poetic lesson for life, doesn't it? You need the struggle.
It really is.
Yeah.
And all of this is to prepare for getting to Mars. But to get there, you need a ride.
Enter SpaceX and the Starship, the $1 billion rocket program.
And rocket almost feels like too small a word. It is the largest flying object humanity has ever built.
The factory was just insane. They're churning them out like cars on an assembly line. This isn't one bespoke rocket every few years. It's mass production.
And the goal is mass transport. Thousands of ships, each carrying 100 people. That's colonization scale.
But the key technology that makes it all work, it's the heat shields, right?
Heat shields are everything. Reusability is the only way the economics of this make sense. And to be reusable, you have to survive re-entry.
They did this demo where they took a blowtorch to one of the 18,000 tiles on the ship. It was glowing orange, over 2,000 degrees.
And the guy was holding the back of the tile with his bare hand.
I know.
That shows you how well it dissipates heat. It protects the ship from temperatures hotter than molten lava. Without that specific material, the whole dream falls apart.
And MrBeast even got to install one of the tiles himself. He signed it, so there's a rocket going to space with his autograph on it.
Let's just hope he installed it correctly.
They said if he messed it up, they'd have to destroy the tile to get it out. No pressure.
That's spaceflight for you.
So when you step back and look at this whole thing, from a single chip in one man's brain to a fleet of starships, what's the through line for you?
For me, it's the progression of problem solving. We start by solving a problem for one-person paralysis. Then we solve a problem for a city traffic, then for our ecosystem extinction. And finally, we solve the ultimate problem: the risk of Earth being a single point of failure for all life.
It's a ladder of ambition.
It is. And, it's so easy to be cynical about technology. But this deep dive is a reminder that tech is fundamentally about hope. It's about looking at a limitation and saying, we can engineer a way past this.
That's a great point. So much of the news about the future is grim, but it's hard not to feel a little optimistic when you see this stuff.
It's about taking an idea and just making it real.
So here's the question I want to leave you with. We've talked about these timelines. The Mammoth is supposed to be back this decade. Starships are being built right now. This isn't sci-fi anymore.
Right.
Which of these technologies do you think is going to show up in your life first? Are you going to eat cultivated chicken before you see a woolly mammoth? Or get a drone delivery before you see a flying car?
I think I'm betting on the chicken. I think it's going to hit the market sooner than people expect.
I don't know. I kind of want to pet that Mercedes creature car. I feel like we'd get along.
Just don't let it drive you upside down.
Deal. Thanks for diving into this. We'll see you next time.